now all the time.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to drink afterwards.
No, I have to drink at all times now.
Wow, that's commitment, huh? Oh, we're live?
It's Sunday night and you're about to watch Tarot Nice to Meet You, the show featuring live tarot reading for comedians by, other comedians. Here are your hosts, Carly Smallman and Sarah Isles.
Tarot, everyone. How's it going? Welcome to Tarot Nice to Meet You. My name is Carly. I got the direction right. This is my wonderful friend Sarah, and we are here to read some tarot, give you a bit of a laugh on Sunday night, and yeah, just hang out with you. We've got brilliant guests coming up. The show is fully interactive though, so you can type away in the comments box. Oh, there we go. Say hi. Don't just say where you're watching from. Tell us how you're watching from. Not necessarily the computer, but how you're feeling inside.
Oh, I don't know if we have time for that. It's a lot to put up on the screen at any given time. Hi, Caroline.
Caroline, thanks for joining us. And also, as per usual, we're going to be doing some one-card tarot readings for you lovely viewers later on in the show. So if you would like us to read your tarot, comment in the box wherever you're watching. Sarah's going to demonstrate exactly how we're not going to do this for you. We both look lovely.
Thank you.
I love it. I prefer that. Thank you, Caroline. Oh, that's really boosted my mood.
Yeah, that makes me feel good. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. But yeah, we'll do your card reading. If you have a question, you can type the question into the box. If you just want a general reading, we can just ask the universe and give you our opinions. Hello from Stockholm. It feels like the Eurovision.
That was an excellent Swedish accent there.
Hello, Stockholm. No, I don't even know what a Swedish accent is. Sorry, everyone. That was probably really.
I'm not going to try because I think that was.
Please try, Sarah.
No,
please.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Okay, try. What did you try?
Strudel.
That's racist. You're a racist.
That's what I was worried about. I was worried about being accidentally racist. And now you've made me do it. So if anything, this is your fault.
I know, and then I called you out like one of these like paedophile catchers who like entraps people. I trapped you into being a racist. Claire is watching from Nottingham. Good old Nottingham. Why about racism and think of Nottingham. So Sarah, how's your week been? What's the crack? What's the news?
I'm not going to lie. I've been out pretty much every single day and I have drunk every single day outside, eating, drinking, up until today when I went out drinking and eating for lunch.
Lovely.
I had pancakes. It was great. Some buttermilk chicken and 2 Prosecco's. It was a good time. And then it rained so hard, I had to finish it in the little cove of this restaurant.
Stephen. Sorry, Sarah. This is irresponsible. Just listen to us. Just listen. You don't need to type. Get high second, please.
Yeah, don't even watch. Just have it on in the. Oh, crikey! Yeah, we don't really
podcast. It's a really shitty podcast that isn't edited.
Yes. And how was your week?
I was also very busy because obviously things are open now. So I went out, had dinner with you. As you know, you were
lucky
there.
Thing.
I felt lucky. I played crazy golf.
Oh, and did you win?
Yeah, by a country mile. It was almost embarrassing for my competitor.
Oh dear, you destroyed them. Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah. With I was as surprised as anyone to find out I was very good at crazy golf. It wasn't like I went in there as a ringer.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm going to hustle this. Oh no, I haven't played for so long. Boom. Destroy it.
I mean, that's not how it happened, but that's how I know to do it again in the future now that I know I'm quite good.
I will not
but yeah, I did that. I spent quite a lot of time like sort of getting early nights and reading too. So it's been a very balanced week because I keep pulling the temperance card. So I felt I had to
balance it out. Yes. Prioritize.
Exactly. You fancy a card, Sarah?
Yes, let's do this. I can't remember what I got last week.
I can't remember what I got either. It was such a kerfuffle with the tech. Sorry, everyone who watched last week with the tech issues. It was just awful. Really stressful. It was a right fucking shambles, the whole thing. So I can't promise it won't be again today, but we'll do our very best.
Yes.
So Sarah, do you want to just say stop? Just say when you're ready.
When?
Oh. You've got the King of Cups. Now,
I got that yesterday.
did a reading for Sarah yesterday, and she got this yesterday. Just for in the context of that reading, because obviously with the court cards, for those who have watched before, and I know some of you are learning the tarot at the moment, the court cards can often and usually mean a person, but they can also sometimes mean an energy that you need to start taking on. And in Sarah's case, because of the surrounding cards that we pulled in the reading yesterday, oh, look at that, so slick, so quick, Jim, well done. Because of the cards that we pulled for Sarah yesterday, what this is this is for Sarah. This is saying that she needs to take on that sort of more stable emotional state. Don't let the rough seas rock her, because she's a king. She's powerful. She knows who she is. She knows who she wants. And the aim is to sort of stay emotionally grounded and stable and not let things rock the boat. So
yeah, unlike the past few weeks. Lol.
Unlike the fucking carnage.
But Carly's carried me through most of it, so that's nice. Right, honey, let me pull you a card and let's see what we've got for you this week.
Okay.
Oh, one fell out.
Woo!
Oh. It is the 3 of Wands. So this, I always take as in like you're thinking about expanding or traveling or like furthering your horizons, but there's no offense, not really much traveling that you can do right now. So I think this is you actually focusing on what's going to come next. What is it that you can think of? You know, this man is looking across his land and thinking like, what can I do with this vast land? What can I do with my life? So I think this is you very much preparing and thinking about what your next move is going to be. What shall it be? It's a mystery, but I think it's quite a nice
idea. Leave a comment if you have any idea of what my next move should be. If you want to like, influence my life, what the fuck should I do next? So yeah, keep the comments rolling in. Let's see how we can destroy my life. So that was good. That was a positive one this week, because sometimes we just get absolute hell. So it's been a nice week of reading for us. I think we deserve that.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like the past few weeks have been a bit crazy. So if things are mellowing out a bit, I'm going to be a bit more emotionally stable. You're going to be looking about what you're going to do next with your life. That's quite a nice positive thing.
Perfect. On the positive note, let's get our guest onto the show. He's a brilliant stand-up comedian, but recently over lockdown, he has found lots of success doing live streaming, and he's going to be coming on our live stream. His name is Chris Purchase. Chris, tarot, and welcome to the show.
Hello, Taro. Hello. Thank you for having me. Yeah, very good.
Fabulous. Chris, tell us more about you, and like we want to hear more about like your fabulous live streams. I just want you to pimp your shows quickly and let us know what kind of stuff.
I don't really know.
I've watched some of them. They're brilliant.
Have you? I didn't even know if you actually, because it's just nonsense. Today we did one called Sports, Balls, 2, Ball Harder, where I commentate on sports and sports events and I don't know anything about sports. So it was me and a puppet called Grimballs just commentating. But it's just fun. On Wednesdays we go on like a field trip. We go to a field trip around the world, and that is now something I do with theatres. So I now do like we go on like it's all done online. So theatres like book tickets. We do it for children who couldn't afford to go to theatres normally. So then they come on a tour around the world, and we learn about Greek myths and Egyptian myths and Norse myths and stuff like that.
I love history. Chris, I'm such a huge fan of myths.
Yeah, you should come. Wednesdays we go every morning, 11 a.m. You should come in the morning. They're actually online. You could just go. They're on my YouTube channel. You could go watch them.
Well, that's her evening sorted, mate.
Wow. Yeah. Do you know, an evening in with some myths?
I'll send you a link.
Yeah, please send me a link. Like that's like my dream. Like for anyone who watches the show knows I'm a big fucking nerd. So this has been the dream to kick this off.
Wow. So that you mentioned that. I'm not at all. I'm a very sporty person. I'm obviously an alpha.
Yeah. Sarah, you are completely outnumbered for once. Sarah is for once outnumbered on the show.
Yeah, I am not a nerd in any way. I don't know whose room this is. So I'm just here. I broke in last night.
Chris, just one of those ones.
All of these lights are here just to keep me talking. That's what these lights are here for. These are just so that I'm not distracted from you. That's all this is for. This is just to stop me from getting distracted.
That is fantastic, actually. I really love that.
Have you not seen this before?
Cool. No, I mean, I've just got some very generic cushions from DFS. That's where I am in my life.
Are they like a tableau behind you? Did you do that on purpose?
I didn't.
Well, yeah.
Oh no, I was talking about Sarah's cushions. I'm guessing yours were on
Sorry,
purpose.
Chris. We've moved on from your fantastic display, and we've moved on to my generic cushions from DFS.
I just miss people.
No, they were just there because I meant to put them on the floor and then forgot. But then it's quite nice to just have a plain white background, you know, because I had a painting behind me, but it fell down. So, and I haven't put it back up yet.
I can show you my cool painting. This is, how do I do this?
Oh, yeah, it's very cool.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
My cool
That's
painting.
a good one.
You've
Solid
got
Sonic.
things in your house.
Nerd alert!
Yeah.
Nerd alert!
Yeah. I like it. So you've got a nerd one, and Sarah's looks like an IKEA harem. That's what it looks like. That's what you've got there. If IKEA styled harems, it's nice. I like it. Cushions.
Swedish Sex Palace. That's what we'll call
I
it.
do have
Sarah's Swedish Sex Palace.
Why is it?
This is an instonk.
I do have a painting. I'm not completely, you know, apt of anything. I do have this and just haven't put it up yet.
It's not on the wall. Do you just hold it up for people when they come over?
Yeah, I'm like, hi, welcome to my flat.
Walking
Except we don't have
down.
anyone in our flats. So
Proof
that's
of
why
culture.
I do need to put it up. I'm aware of all these things, but I was waiting for the world to open up so my dad can come over and he can put up all my paintings and art. And it's been a year. So I'm just holding them up now.
I like that. I almost think that's better so that they never miss it. Hold it right near their face at all times.
Right in
so
their
they'll never
face.
miss the beautiful.
Yeah, I'll see if I can put this.
Yeah, put that
Do
there.
you serve drinks on it?
No, we
come
can
in
all
with
enjoy
drinks
it
and
throughout the
coffee.
show. Here we go.
Beautiful.
It's gonna fall down. It's gonna fall down. It's
It's
just
It is going to fall down. It's very, yeah.
That is a ticking
I
time
love
bomb
it.
right there.
I know. Well, let's just see how long it takes, and we can take bets on when we think it's going to fall down. Comment. You know, do we think like 19? You know, 24. You know, whenever do we think it's going to come down? And we'll
Please
do
don't
that.
comment on
Okay.
this. This is dumb as fuck. Right, Chris, let's.
They're the best type of things. We
I
have
know,
been
they
locked
are, they
inside
are.
for a year. Let's let people have things that are dumb as fuck.
Yeah,
No,
let me have my dumb as fuck painting, please.
No,
That's the
okay, let's take bets. Let's start a little what's it called? What's it called? The thing where you
Book?
bet on like a person or a time. What's it called?
Just
Stop
bets.
looking at me.
Just a bet. Just a bet.
It's a bet, isn't it? It's just like
What
take a
I
poll.
mean?
Just a bet.
No, it's not a bet. It's got like a thing. Anyway, Chris, let's start our show.
Let's start our show. Why not?
Let's start it, baby. Yeah.
We love to get to know our guests because obviously tarot, we love all things tarot and a bit woo-woo here.
Yes.
So we love to get to know our guests by saying, please tell us your brief encounter. That is something that is like spooky or coincidental. Wager. Thank you, Claire. Sweepstake!
Sweepstake.
Sweepstake! That's the word.
Sweepstake is a better. I don't know how
I love
spooky
how
to
that has
go.
now trumped actually us doing the real sweepstake or wager by trying to guess what the word was.
Yeah, that's
Get
it.
the time when Carly's going to say sweepstake.
She's won. She's won it. She's won it herself.
One.
That's what she
Yeah.
said.
Who had 1913? Carly wins. Sorry, right. Yeah, let's carry on with the show. Sorry.
Yeah, so Chris, we'd love to hear from you about your brief encounter, which is like a spooky story or a coincidental story or like something that amazing that the universe has thrown out.
I've got two, and I don't know if it's. Is it scary or not scary? Scary or not scary? Which
Oh,
one?
I say scary. Oh, whatever you want.
What? Whatever you want.
Scary.
Scary.
Yeah.
I will tell you my scary one, and then because the not scary one isn't very scary at all. But the scary one is that when I was 11 years old, I fell asleep in the back of my mum's car. She pulled up to my great granddad's flat where he lived, and she went in to look after him. It was nighttime. I was still asleep in the back of the car, and I had like a weird vision kind of dream, but it was real, where a person opened the door of the car and it was like all in silhouette, completely in silhouette, and he was all shadow, and then he reached through like that to grab me, and I screamed, but I couldn't scream. My voice box was frozen. I was going like that. And then my mum came out of the door and walked towards the car, and when she opened the door for the car, the chair was pushed forward like so someone had like tried to get to me, but there was no one in the car and the door was closed. So that's
Whoa.
terrifying.
That is terrifying.
Did I fall asleep with my eyes open and imagine it all? Likely. Is it scary? Yes, it's terrifying.
Yes. Both of those
Well,
things.
there's no need for real life explanations of this show, Chris. We'll just say that a dark, shadowy force tried to abduct you, and we'll keep the viewers happy.
I mean, that was literally my first wedding. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you my not
love
scary
that-
one though, because we've got a ghost called Albert.
What?
In your house?
Yeah. So there's in this house. Well, I live in like a 4-story Victorian house, and it's rental. Obviously, I can't have a comedian. I can't afford a house, so it doesn't matter what size. I've got a cardboard box outside Sainsbury's. I pay council tax on. But there's a ghost called Albert that lives in here, and he makes corners cold. And our youngest daughter says that he sits at the end of her bed, and that we were like, haha, okay, you're obviously having dreams. And apparently, he's a doctor. He's told her that he's a doctor. She's a teenager, by the way. She's nearly 14 years old. It's not like she's 8 or 4 or something.
So she's probably hanging out with Albert.
Well, if he's a doctor, I'm all right with it, you know?
Good supervision.
That is an education. She's not scared of him. But so that's pretty scary. And I was like, oh yeah, we've all had an imaginary friend. And then the television in the room started turning off and on every time we talk about him. And we were like, okay, then I guess Albert's real. So we've all got.
Oh my
now,
God.
Yeah, now when I do anything, I stare. I like look at it, going, "This one's for you, Albert." Like if I'm eating, just gross the guy out.
Do you think Albert will know we're talking about him now?
Probably. So I had to move. So this is where I'm sat now, where you can see this. This is like the middle of my dining room, and our table. Like you can't see it, but there's a dining table on the other side. But I used to be in the corner of the room, and it would just randomly get really cold, and I moved from there to here because of that. And I think it was him. You bastard, Albert. You bastard.
Do you think Albert was like sort of stealing all your Twitch followers? Was that what it was? Like, no, Albert, get out of the way.
No, get out, buddy. Get out. I think he was looking over my shoulder. He was like, I'm going to learn how to do this. It took Chris months, but I'm going to learn faster. He's going to, this bastard.
I love the idea of a ghost stream, like just a screen where nothing happens.
It's just like this.
He's just there
no one.
talking about politics.
So every now and then there's a little puppet that pops up.
Because I had it when I moved into my flat, my TV used to turn itself on at the same time every night. So I unplug it from the mains every single night now, because it just got to the point where it was scaring me, because it would just come on at 5 minutes past 3 every night. And so I just turn it off at the mains, because I was like, I don't want to know what this is.
Wow.
There's painting down. Yes. If there is something in here and it knocks my painting down during the show, I will absolutely crap my pants.
You'll just see Sarah.
I don't understand what you.
And 10 minutes later, pop in here. That's what will happen if the painting falls down.
Yeah, I'll be like, I'm going to finish the show from Carly's. I can't do it.
Oh man, I love that. No, I love that you've got a ghost, Chris. I've never had any ghostly encounters, but so many of our guests have, and I'm actually a little bit jealous now. But not jealous, just want to see a ghost.
You repel ghosts, don't you? You repel the spirits.
I repel them. I repel spirits. It's probably because I haven't watched much during lockdown.
Yes,
because you prefer
they have
wine.
feelings and smells. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if you're going to haunt someone, you're probably going to haunt the person that washes.
Oh yeah, you don't want a mess like me. Fuck that.
Yeah.
They probably see me crying in my bed and go like, "We'll leave her to that."
Oh no, she's going through enough. We're not going to touch her.
It's why I don't get dressed from the waist down anymore. I just just if Albert's in here, you know, if he wants to come in and see me out full English, just drifting in the wind, he's gonna have to. It's my house, you know, socks and a jumper. That is
Good for you.
Smart casual. That's what it is.
I like that. I was doing that during the first couple of lockdowns, and now I'm wearing all clothes, and it feels very strange. I'm still not wearing bras. I'll make that known.
I've got a blanket. That's the kind of guy.
Good to cover your.
Well, to cover
I am wearing that was a joke, Sarah. Do I really have to? I'm not naked down here. I of course have a jockstrap on. Jesus Christ.
Oh, good. I'm wearing granny otherwise.
I'm wearing granny slippers.
Nice.
With quarter socks. Great. Okay. Guys, there's only so much sexiness I can bring to this show. And I'm feeling so much pressure now. Like,
it's all on you now, Sarah. You've got to bring the
me and my painting that I'm holding up for guests. I mean, there's only so much I can do.
On this subject, do you want to hear something that happened during lockdown because of all of this? Do you want something? Right. So I was doing a corporate gig. I do a lot of corporate gigs where they're like on a Zoom gig. So there's like 30 people I'm looking at. And I was just like doing my jokes. And someone stood up like this. and from the sofa, and they were naked from the waist down. And so for about 60 seconds, we just had his stuff like waving like seaweed while he was obviously. But he didn't mean to, and then it went blank, where obviously whoever was in charge had noticed that it wasn't like a person's face, and then apparently he got fired. But he didn't do it on purpose. It was just that he'd forgotten. Yeah. Well, yeah, because he exposed himself to 30 people.
Yes. And I don't believe you don't know that you're exposing yourself.
Well, everyone had been drinking.
Yeah, but still, even when I'm drinking, I don't expose myself. Or is this something that people regularly do?
I do sometimes.
Right.
Even
Okay, so the small stuff.
Myself. Sometimes.
I don't. Yeah, so that's 2/3 of us don't do that. But he was in that third that did. He apparently he just forgotten it. He had he stood up and he just had forgotten that he was only wearing a t-shirt.
I feel sorry for him that he got fired.
I feel sorry for him, but at the same time, we should fire people that expose themselves to their company. Yes. There's zero tolerance on that.
Yeah, I've never turned up to a Zoom anything and not been clothed.
Yeah, no, I just had to think. Yeah,
I mean, I might be wearing bottoms, but I'm wearing bottoms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been wearing bottoms.
Yeah.
Have you never had a sexy Zoom call? Isn't that what half of Zoom is? No.
Yeah.
No way. I would rather die than have a sexy Zoom call. That would. Actually, I'm getting anxiety thinking about that. I'm getting anxiety thinking about it.
No, I've not done that either. Of course not. No.
Oh my god! You have done that.
No, I haven't. I just said I haven't done that. I've never done that. I don't know what you're talking about. Should we do the reading? That's a good idea.
Yeah,
it's time, isn't it?
Do it. If it comes up with the pole dancer.
I love that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a 3-card reading for Chris. Okay. This is going to be advice for the week ahead. That's what we like to do. Just a bit of advice. Just let me and Sarah tell you how to. Yeah, I agree, Claire. Sacking was hard. Tell you maybe some tips and tricks of things you may need to know for the week coming up. For the tarot buffs amongst you, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be pulling 3 cards and we're going to be reading them all upright. We do not read reversals, which is where the cards come up upside down. So, yes. Chris, we are going to shuffle. And you just, when the universe tells you to tell me to stop, I'll just stop and I'll pull 3 cards from the top of the deck. So
you want me to tell you when to stop?
I can really, don't I? Can you say this? Yeah, you say when.
When?
Fabulous. I do need to get a tarot cam because I just kind of put them on this little table in front of me. Okay. Oh, okay. One has fallen on the floor. Please don't mind me as I do this. Okay, I've got it back. So what we'll do, Chris, is we'll do each card individually. And then we will sort of put them all together and give you a little overview. So your first card this week is one of the major arcana. The major arcana cards are the ones that are like the big life lessons and things that the universe wants to tell you. They're like kind of the big sort of concepts rather than the everyday bits and bobs. And what you have got is this card, the Hanged Man. Now, this is, I actually was pulling this card constantly during lockdown 1. This is kind of a card not only of suspension, of saying that, not much is going on necessarily. I've got a bit of feedback. Is that for me or you?
I think it's you, hon.
Do I need to get headphones?
No, you're okay now. I think you're okay now.
Excellent. So, yeah, here he is, the Hanged Man. He's a guy upside down in a tree. And this is a card of kind of... Thanks, Rich. It is working. This is a card about not only being in a sort of suspended state of animation where sort of not much is going on, but my favorite interpretation of this card, you can see he's got a halo around his head. This is a card saying that you are starting to see things from a new and different perspective. If the guy was up this way, he would see the world the same as everyone else. But the advice on this card is either carry on with this sort of new way of thinking, or if you actually need to maybe flip things on their head a bit this week and think to yourself, right, I've got X, Y, Z that I either want to do or want to solve. I've been looking at it this way. Maybe I need to look at it this way instead. And you can see he's got this lovely halo around his head, showing that actually by seeing the world from a new way, he's become enlightened to something that other people don't know. Sarah, do you want to add anything to the old Hanged Man?
Yeah, I mean, I think I read this slightly differently, just in some regards, as in, like, I agree with everything that you've said, but whenever I seem to get this in a reading, I always feel like it's like we're suspended in time, like you're stuck, like there's not really a lot that you can do, and that you kind of just have to embrace it. So I think, in line with what Carly said, is like the different point of view is that there's not a lot I think you can necessarily do to change it, but it's good to be able to see things from a different perspective. Because as you can see, he's literally just hanging there. His foot is tied to the tree. There's nothing he can do about it. So it could be that you might feel a bit stuck. And so therefore the advice is to flip it, like Carly said, and see something from a different perspective. But it doesn't always necessarily mean that you can change it, but you can embrace it. And just accept that it's kind of where things are right now. It's not like an action kind of.
I agree with it, but it's not necessarily a negative thing. It's like he's kind of chilling there.
Oh.
He's, you know, if it was negative, he'd be like bound by 2 feet. He's kind of just chilling. Does any of this resonate with you, my darling?
Yeah, you know it does. You know I've changed lots of stuff about myself over this lockdown and adapted. And I've got a new podcast coming out next week. That is a really weird thing. So that I was a bit worried about.
Is this the one I've seen advertised? Is this like the sexy podcast?
Yeah, it's a sexy podcast.
Sexy podcast.
A podcast with like a sexpert, and it's a sexy podcast. I'm so excited. I will definitely be tuning in.
Yes.
The first one is about well, you'll have to tune in. So I didn't know so that was like, but then loads of stuff. Everything I've changed. I stepped down from like doing circuit gigs, and I just focus on. I try to change every week just to do stuff that works and hang up stuff that doesn't, no matter how long I've been doing it, so that it doesn't. So yes, resonates lovely with me. I even changed this week. I've got like new plants and things. I change stuff all the time.
Oh, I'm so pleased. Right, the next card. Don't be scared when you see it. This is what I'm going to preface this with, but it's not. It's the 8 of Swords. Now, this, as you can see from the picture, there's a lady. She's bound and she's got a blindfold on, and she's got some swords sort of trapping her behind her. This, for me, is the card of limiting beliefs. This is the card that says that maybe if you need to stop any negative self-talk. So this is a card where this, for me, is like when this comes up, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, that's right. This is a card where I'm like thinking, like, oh, Carly, you're so shit. You can't do it. You're not good enough. You aren't talented enough. Blah, 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 blah. And this card pops up always then when it's sort of like you're having these negative thoughts and negative mental attitudes. For me, I don't know necessarily for you, specifically about yourself and that kind of like that self-hate that you kind of can throw at yourself sometimes. When this card comes up, the advice is that actually this self-hate is almost self-imposed. Like you don't have to feel that way. You can see from the way that the card is actually laid out. Actually, you can probably see it better on the screen than me just holding this. She's tied up, but the swords aren't all the way around her. Swords in the tarot represent thoughts, and so these thoughts aren't all the way around her. She just feels like they are because she's got a blindfold on and she can't see the truth, which is that actually there's loads of room for her to just walk straight away from those negative thoughts and into a better, happier mindset. So the advice on this card for me, when I read this, is any limiting beliefs, you need to find ways to kind of like negate that and try and make yourself, well, I say make yourself, it's easier said than done, innit? You need to sort of try and find ways to speak more nicely to yourself. Sarah, anything you want to add about this card?
Sorry, I'm just reading the comments of everyone commenting saying that all the cards look like different sexual positions. So sorry, I didn't mean to giggle when you were talking about, because it is awful that you're having limited beliefs, and I'm sitting here like sexual positions. Sorry, it's such a childish thing.
But yeah,
how I have sex. Both of these is how I have sex. Upside down with one foot
and with self-loathing.
And then the other one is just limiting my beliefs, being like, you're so
self-loathing.
Why can't you stop
part of my
woman? Yeah, isn't that what we all do? We all have sex with, like swords and self-loathing. That's just how we.
It's my favourite position.
Yeah. So it's yeah. I mean, sorry. Going back to actually the card. So what I remember is I think it was, we had a tarot reader on here. I think, was it Peter, his name? And I remember when he came up with this card, and it stuck with me ever since. He said that the swords are facing downwards and they're into the soil. And because it's in regard to like limiting beliefs, it's things that are actually embedded in you, that have been thoughts that have actually resonated with you for years. So they're sort of like the limiting beliefs that you actually are holding on to, and you've been holding on to for a while, that are holding yourself back, like Carly said. So I think these these are things that you've got to try if you can to try and embrace. Maybe it like links in with the Hanged Man, and you've got to try and see things from a different perspective and remind yourself that you've got this limiting belief, but actually let's look at the facts, and what I tell myself isn't actually what it is. And so maybe you can start turning them on their heads and being like, no, fuck you, limiting belief. I can do
that. I have to do that all the time.
Fuck you. Yeah,
I have to do that all the time. Sarah's been saying that to me. She's like, right, what is the evidence for what you're saying? And I'm like, there's no actual evidence.
No
evidence.
evidence.
It's not true.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what we have to do. But like, give me evidence of this, and she can't do it. She can't
never do it.
I've had so that resonates really heavily with what's happening at the moment, because I am doing that a lot. I've done it a lot of that. I've got it again written in front of me is like things like there's this thing in our house where we can't fail anymore. So we say you can't fail. You're not failing. You're either doing a thing or learning to do a thing. You don't fail at a thing. So that's what we've like started to adopt as our whole thing. But there's also like all this, like our whole ethos. But there's always this. I've got like quite a negative self-belief about myself. And years ago, I was given a diagnosis of a mental health disorder. And then recently, like as recent as 2 weeks ago, I've discovered I don't have that. I have something else, which isn't. I'm not bipolar. I'm ADHD. So that's so it's part of. I've obviously decades of it.
Because obviously I've known you for years, Chris, and I've noticed stuff that you've sort of like over the years had conversations about mental health. And wow, how did that feel when they gave you that diagnosis? I'm going through. I'm still going through it at the moment. Wow.
They're just pretty sure about it, but it made a lot more sense because like lots of the stuff didn't work that I was going through for bipolar. Nothing stuck. Everything was kind of, every time they tried something, it didn't work. So now we're doing this, and actually I'm a lot more confident, and which is crazy for a comedian to say, but I'm a lot better and more comfortable in myself. And it's just so much easier to know that because I was like, I'm like, this works for other people. Why does it not work for me? And now I've got this. But so yeah, and next week is my second session. So that's a big thing, like a big part of it.
Oh well, in that case, go into it with as much self-love as you can.
This is me leaning into it. Yeah, I'm leaning into it.
You lean into it, man. You lean into it.
Lean into it.
I can't lean into anything and look nice. I was like I'm losing my damn mind.
Could do it like this. That's me leaning into it.
Sexy. Oh, that's a very great lean. That's a very.
I've been practicing.
You've got a 90s hip hop lean. That's what you've got.
I have.
You've got a 90s hip hop lean.
Yeah, I can't do that.
You got to practice, Sarah. You got to be on camera every day.
For a year. She's going to fall down. She can't lean too much. Someone will win.
Solid lean.
Solid leaning. That's what we want.
Solid lean is also my diet goal. That's solid lean. So I go into the shop. I'm like,
solid lean.
Solid
lean. I love that.
Why did I touch my nipples?
Stop touching the boobs, everyone.
Not sure why they're.
I wrote it in the email to Chris before the show. Please, could you touch your nipples a lot during the show? I did.
Double nipples. So there's another one coming up at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, what time will it be? Another sweet steak? Tune in.
Stay tuned.
Not now. It's not now.
Right, let's go on to the final card, shall we? Before Chris touches nipples. Your final card is one of my favourite. This is the 10 of Cups. This is one of my favourite, most lovely cards. So cups are to do with your emotions and your like interpersonal relationships. You can see here there is a happy family. They are celebrating their love for one another, and there's a big rainbow. All their cups are up in it. And this is basically, this card sort of, it looks like what it is. This is about family, but not just family. This is about like all those big love feelings you have for the important people in your life, and about gratitude for them, and about sort of enjoying and celebrating these joyous, happy times that you're spending together, because you don't get those back. These are important times, and they are what's gonna. If you think about your cup, like that's why cups are to do with emotions in the tarot. It's about sort of filling up your cup with these lovely love feelings. Through the cup suit, some of the cups have loads of water in them, some of them don't, some of them have things that aren't water. And in this one, all of your cups are full. They're full. It's not wee or anything. It's nice. I mean, there's
Who's weeing in cups, Carly? Who's weeing in
Clarifying
cups?
is worse. Clarifying is worse.
There was some wee in the cup.
Why are you weeing in cups?
I did a bottle in a music festival once.
We've all peed in a We've all peed in a can. We've all peed in a can.
We've all peed in a
I
cup.
wish I could have that
Sarah.
kind of aim, Chris. I really don't.
I use a
Shiwi's a
shiwi.
I do have a
use
shiwi. Yeah, I
Me
have.
too.
Oh, you could use a shiwi. Okay, fair enough.
Chris has a shiwi too.
I do. I've got 2 daughters. Of course, I've got.
Oh, I thought you were just referring to your penis as a shiwi. It's like, well, mine's inbuilt, so.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
I'm not that much of a
Anyway,
feminist.
back to this joyous card. This card is reminding you to focus on the lovely feelings and your most important people this week. Pour your energies rather than any of these limiting beliefs. This is what's going to help you in this situation here. Sarah, anything you want to add about that?
No, I mean, it's spot on. It is just like, this is the completion of it. Like 10s are usually like the completion of a cycle. So I feel like all of the stuff that you've gone through, or like, the Hanged Man and then the 8 of Swords, is actually going to come out at the end of it, is you're going to feel all this happy, joy, love that isn't full of pee. So it's, I think it will be a very positive and lovely, don't spill the cups because we don't know what Carly's done with them. But, I think it's going to be follow your heart, embrace everything. And it's a very nice ending to the reading, I think, because it means that everything's going to end very positively.
It's really positive reading.
Really
lovely.
Is.
When you see the 3
is.
cards up next to each other side by side, it gives a really nice narrative. Obviously everyone has struggles. Everyone has things that they go through where they feel like they're holding themselves back. But you've got ways of seeing things that are different. And because you're a comedian, you're very creative, so you can be creative with how you approach things. And also, I feel like the key to this reading is this last card here, the 10 of Cups. If you focus on family and love and your relationships, that's what's going to help you with anything that you encounter that may cause a problem.
Wow, yeah. Do you want to hear something spooky about that? About
Yes.
the last card? Yes. So a week on Monday, a week tomorrow will be 8 years since I got custody of my daughters. So it's our family birthday.
That's a celebration of the 10 of Cups. That actually is exactly what it is then. That's great.
12:37 p.m.
Oh.
That's our family birthday.
Wow.
That's
the
lovely.
10th.
Well,
So
then
there
the
you go.
advice
That's
is
it.
go enjoy your celebration of
We're
being
going to have a takeaway.
Yes.
fucking yes. Takeaway. What's your
And a
takeaway of
brownie.
choice?
We are going for the posh Chinese. So there's there's all the crap Chineses, and then there's one you have to go into the restaurant for, and it's about twice the price, but it's much nicer. And it's been about 2 years since we had it. That's it. So it's 12 quid for ribs. I mean, we're not.
Whoa.
I know.
Wow, you must really fucking love your daughters.
We get 1 rib each.
Yes, of course. Share a rib. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, here, have half.
Your turn. Your turn.
Sharing the ribs. Wow.
Your turn.
Remember, Daddy
The
loves you.
sauce. It's pudding. You get the lid.
Oh my god! Oh, I love that so much. Well, Chris, that was your reading. I hope you found it
It
useful.
was a good one. Yeah, it was very positive.
I love that.
Good.
Jose's here, Sarah.
Hi, Jose. Good to see you, or not see you. It's good for you to see me. What? Yeah.
It's a great name.
You're welcome.
Look at her name.
You are welcome.
Diane!
Diane, hello, Diane.
Diane! We love Diane. She's our pal. Sarah, let's do the next round. Do you want to introduce it?
Yes,
Next
I would love
round.
to introduce it. So the next round is very aptly called Who's in the Freezer?
Hey! Let me out! It's fucking freezing in here!
It's terrifying. Oh my god! Is this Fred West's tarot reading?
It's a watered down version of that. I mean, I will
There's
explain,
lots
and then I
nice
have a little
meat
fun
with.
story about my freezer as well on top of that. So basically, this is for new people or for Chris. So this is a spell that my aunt taught me, which is you put things that you don't like or people that you're trying to get rid of into the freezer. So it's a positive way of freezing their power and not letting them do anything nasty or shitty to you going forward. So you write the name down on a bit of paper, fold it up, put it in an ice cube tray, freeze it, and then put it in the back of your freezer. I mean, I'm posh, so I decant all my frozen people into a little bowl of hate that I then keep at the back of my freezer. And I found out yesterday that I was just chatting to one of the guys that's lived in the building for years, that the guy who lived in my flat before me, so he was like, oh, you know, the guy that lived in the flat before you, he bought the freezer because it's a massive like fridge freezer and like the bed frame and stuff that I live in. But basically they said that he lived there for 3 months, and then after a couple of weeks, the post started to pile up in his cubby hole downstairs, and no one had seen him for a while. So he's telling me this story casually in the corridor yesterday, and I was like, oh God, please don't die in my flat. Please don't die in my flat. And he went, yeah, so I had to get the landlord and we had to break into your I wonder if the Mr. fit my ex in there. Oh, we can totally fit your ex in there, don't worry. So then the landlord and the guy downstairs then broke into this flat, but everything was still here, just not the guy. So then I noticed that he had like a small suitcase apparently that was gone. Like he'd taken a small batch of clothes, but they couldn't work out where he'd gone. And then a couple of days later, the government got involved and contacted the landlord because they were hunting for the guy that lived in my flat because he was an American assassin.
Amazing.
I'm freezing people in an assassin's freezer.
Are you not scared that he'll ever come back?
No.
No.
What's he going to kill me for? I literally do nothing. He's not coming back.
You freeze loads of people. You freeze a taskbar. Peter Antonio's watching!
Oh, he's the one I was talking about earlier.
Peter Antonio's available for exorcisms.
Yes, Peter, thank you. I mean, with the TV turning itself on and off, and finding out that I've got a hitman's freezer, and obviously then putting stuff in the freezer is a little bit of a concern. So yeah, that's what I found out yesterday, and I actually thought it was really cool. Like, because a hitman lives in my flat.
It's sex sleeping in the assassin's bed.
Just as he comes in, he's got a gun, and you're like, but what about this? And he's like, oh no, I can't possibly kill an art connoisseur like this. Where did you get that?
I bet he knows how to put up a painting or two. I'll ask him.
Right. He knows how to nail it.
Yeah.
So that's the update on my freezer. So Chris, what we do is I'll nominate someone to go in the freezer. You'll nominate someone to go in the freezer, and then the audience will vote. So did you want to go first or second?
I don't know. Does it have to be a name?
No, it can be a thing. I'm going to put a thing in this week, not an actual person.
Or you can mention a person and give Sarah the name after the show if you want to protect.
I will definitely do it.
Have done that.
I don't know their name anymore.
Do you have a first name?
That whore. Maybe that whore. You know, a nice name.
Yeah, that's a good one. My ex.
Perhaps the hitman is still living there in a secret room.
Whoa!
Oh, brilliant! Twist.
Say that. You never know. That.
He
Do you think he's turning on the TV at 3 a.m. because he's bored?
He listens at the floor.
A woman shit herself.
Bit of Bridgerton.
8:03. 8:03. That's it. The TV's turning on.
Maybe he's just trying to watch Line of Duty or something.
Maybe.
He's like,
sorry, Chris. Who were you putting in? Sorry.
No, I wasn't. I was going to put on. I was going to put on pedants, online pedants. So not trolls or anything like that. People who do crazy stuff. What I'm talking about is people who say, well, actually, and then do it. It's when you say, I've hurt all 10 of my fingers. And they're like, well, actually, I've got 4 fingers and a thumb on each hand. You're like, fuck off, mate. It's been a pandemic.
I hate those guys.
I've only got so much energy. Let me have I was throwing something out into the ether. Or, you know, like the same people are like, well, actually, did you know that the Doctor Who was only in this many episodes? I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to have a conversation. So that person.
I
love that as a nomination. I'm just going to give nomination applause here. That's a brilliant nomination. Sarah, who are you nominating, honey?
Right. I've made a little note just because I want to get it correct. So I'm putting in ridiculous job titles. And when I say that, I mean ridiculous job titles on TV. So he's not behind me, Kev, I can see. So basically, the job titles I'm talking about, don't scare me, Kev, is I was watching a cookery show and it was like the best baker in America or something like that. And the people that were competing had the most ridiculous job titles. So this is one of them. One of them worked as a food lab director and the other one was a pastry consultant. Who's consulting their pastries? Why would you consult a croissant? I don't understand. It makes absolutely no sense. So I want to put these ridiculous job titles.
Just holding it up to your head.
No.
Hello, still
Hello,
loading.
Papa.
Yeah, it's not happening. So I want to put those ridiculous, I mean, for fuck's sake, you're a chef or you're a pastry chef. You're not a pastry consultant. No one's consulting with an almond croissant, is what I'm saying.
Alternative name for a pastry consultant is a bun whisperer. I think that's a much better name for it.
Bun whisperer. Bravo.
Also,
My
a great
darling.
name for a man who's good in bed, the bun whisperer.
The
Maybe.
bun whisperer.
It works on
Also
so many
exposes his
levels.
kink.
Okay, so I think what we should do then is, so we'll have the bun whisperer versus Chris's suggestion in the
Versus
freezer.
online
That's what-
pedants. Yes, wonderful.
Online
So,
or
Chris,
wanky job titles we've got.
Chris
Fair,
and
that makes sense.
versus wanky job titles. So, Chris and Sarah have made the nominations. Please get tapping on the keys and cast your votes for who would like to go in the freezer. While that's going on, we are going to do some one-card readings for the audience, give you guys time to vote. Sarah and I will draw cards. Chris is Chris, like, legit has given me over the years some incredible advice. So Chris is here also just to throw his input in. Like, why not? Why not, babe?
Why not?
So,
Chuck him in.
why not?
Chuck
Chris
it in.
has actually given me some great advice over the years. I actually trust this guest, so listen hard.
Trust this guy. I'm wearing something I look like I painted things in. That's the bad. I look like I made up my own jumper. You shouldn't trust anyone with this fashion.
Right, let's see who we've got. Jim, any questions? For
Caroline.
Caroline. Do you want to go first, Sarah? Do you want to draw the cards?
Yes. Thank you.
Why
Sure.
not?
Yes, I'll go first. Let's see. Okay. Oh, Caroline, this makes me feel for you, my love. So this is like a burdens to bear kind of card. So this, as you can see, this is a 10 of wands. So what I will explain is, you can see this guy is carrying all these wands and it's just overwhelming and he's struggling and he's walking towards the town. But the positive thing of this sign is you probably feel like you're carrying a lot and you're working on a lot and you're dealing with a lot right now. But it is a 10, which means that it's coming to the end. This guy is shortly going to reach the town and he's almost there. So the advice of this card is just hang on in there. Whatever it is that you're dealing with that is quite intense and it's overwhelming, you are coming to the end of it soon. You're going to reach the town. You can get rid of these pesky ones that you're holding on to. So the end is nigh, but I'm really sorry with what you're going through because obviously it is overwhelming and it's a lot. But honey, it is coming to the end soon. You've got this.
Good.
Anything else?
I was just going to say that the thing with the 10 of wands that I always find, and Sarah is absolutely spot on, often with wands, what they are, it's not like necessarily responsibilities that people are sort of like forcing on you, blah, blah, blah. Often it's things that you have said yes to, that you're like, don't worry, I can do that. Yep, and I can help you with that. Oh, don't worry about that. And I'm going to take on this project too, blah, 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 blah. So yes, this is coming to an end, as Sarah said. But the lesson you need to learn is you don't have to say yes to every single thing, because sometimes by taking on too much, you can overwhelm yourself. Rather, it's not people putting those wands on you. You've picked up the wands yourself. So make sure that you look after yourself by sort of setting boundaries and knowing what is the best things for you to say yes to. Chris, any advice on this sort of topic?
Yeah. These kind of things are about expectations, and you put a lot of expectations on yourself. You put stuff on yourself and you think, oh, I've got to take all this stuff on. And it's actually quite an immature attitude. As an adult, you have to be able to say to people, I've got all this stuff going on. I can't do this, or I'm not going to be able to finish this. We should be free as a society to be able to open up and talk about these things. And you should cut yourself a little break when you do that. Be free to say to people, do you know what? I've got a lot of shit on. I'm coming to the end of some projects. I can't take on any more. So you should just relax a little bit and feel free to tell people that you can't take on anymore. No one's going to think any less of you for it.
Told you he was good at advice. Didn't I?
Really good
tell
advice.
you? Thank you, Chris. Sorry, that was just me being fun. Chris is amazing at advice. Jim, any more?
I live in a bin.
Kev, like Sarah.
You may, Kev. Yes, you may.
Specific.
Very
Yeah,
specific.
sometimes people do want cards from specific people, but then we both end up answering it anyway.
I don't have any tarot cards if they ask for one from me. I might have some Magic the Gathering somewhere.
Yeah, well,
You can just pretend. So this is interesting. Knight of Wands. Now, so the knight, obviously we mentioned earlier, this is a court card. So this could represent you, or it could be like aspects of the personality of the knight that you need to take on board. Now with the knight, as you can see, he's like riding forward on his horse. It's very sort of like lust and action and adventure and that kind of thing. But I mean, Carly and I do amusingly refer to this one as the Knight of Dicks. So this could be like, we do though. I mean, we very much have like joked about calling it the Knight of Dicks. So usually we use it when like someone's going to come into your life and give you the dick. But obviously that I don't think that's the situation for you. So it could be that maybe you're the one that actually needs to embody the knight. And I'm not saying you should give your, I mean, this has taken a turn that I wasn't expecting, and I feel like I'm being inappropriate. But I think you've got to take on the energy of this card. So you've got to be more action orientated and sort of go with your gut. And if there's something that you would like to do, then you should go forward with it and stop holding yourself back. So that's what I think the advice is for this card.
I agree. Yeah. When this card comes up, if you're not expecting a man with a huge penis to come into your life anytime soon, what the advice may be is that actually, instead of planning, this is not a planning card. This is the sort of card giving you the advice that sometimes you should just act on impulse. You don't need to sit and meticulously plan your whole future ahead of you. And in fact, sometimes that's actually not even a good idea to do. Sometimes the good thing to do, thank you, Claire. I like this. But yeah, basically what you need to do is sometimes just be more action oriented and don't think, just go.
Do it.
Do it now.
Have energy and passion and go for it.
Do it, definitely. There's two bits of advice I got if it ties in with this that have helped me. And the first one is that perfection isn't the way, it's in the way. That's a really good one. Is that I used to be so obsessed with getting something perfect that I just didn't do it in the first place. And it's better for stuff to be out there than it is to be in here. It's not doing anything in here. Get it 60% of the way, get it out there. Fuck it off, never think about it again. That's what perfection isn't the way, it's in the way. It's my absolute thing that I do. And the other thing that I have got to tell myself all the time is that fake it till you make it is a legitimate thing, because another way to say fake it till you make it is practice until you're good. It means the same thing. Fake it till you make it is practice until you're good. And confidence isn't something you're born with. It grows through practice. Keep practicing at being confident and you'll get there in the end. That's what I say.
Fucking hell, Chris. Carly was right. I mean, Jesus H.
He's better than us at advice. He's better than
way better.
Taro. It should be called Chris. Nice to meet you. Tell me how to live.
It's just, this is my internal dialogue. I could do the other negative side of him, but he's getting quieter every day. He's getting quieter every day.
Chris, nice to meet you. Oh.
I love this. I love Chris.
Our lives would be sorted in like a month or so. We'd be like so on it.
I know. I love that.
You haven't seen the other side of this.
Any more cards, Jen? Taro, everyone. I'm home now.
Oh, good. He's home.
I'll do a card for Stephen. I'll do a little card for Stephen. Let me just choppity chop the deck.
Stephen.
Okay, Stephen, you've got the Emperor. Okay, so as you can see, the Emperor is sitting on his throne. He's this card can mean many things. So it can be about taking on an authoritative role, being an authority in something. It can also be about sort of learning through your own age and wisdom and knowledge and experience. So instead of sort of learning from a book, you need to think, right, where have I failed, where have I succeeded, and learn from that. But for me, this card, so I've got quite a personal connection with this card, and it's actually about boundaries. So the Emperor is the emperor of his own land. You can see in his hand he holds a little orb which represents his world, and behind him are the mountains, which are sort of the boundary of his kingdom. Now the Emperor knows who he should let in to his kingdom. The Emperor knows who should and shouldn't be there. He is sort of stern enough and firm enough to say yes and no to what he wants. In fact, he's in charge. So my advice when I get this card is thinking to myself, like, what are my boundaries? How am I going to reassess my boundaries? And how can I make sure that I both protect myself and relate to others in a way that keeps my relationships good, while sort of me feeling great. So yeah, for me, the Emperor is a boundaries card. I know it's not for everybody, but that's my personal interpretation of this card. Sarah and Chris?
No, I think that's spot on. Spot on. Chris?
I obviously don't know much about tarot, but with what you've said, I'd say that people sometimes get a little bit like when they're trying to work out what they know and what's best for them, they always worry that they personally don't know what's best for them because they don't have that knowledge. And I think that people are always convinced that the most valuable people have the most knowledge, when in fact the most valuable people know where to find out about that knowledge, where they go to find it. So I'd say with something like this, with what you said, Carly, I'd say, again, forgive yourself if you don't know what you want, if you don't know what you want to do, if you don't know everything about yourself, and you should be free and give yourself the autonomy to go and find out more about yourself and find out anything. If you want to learn anything, just forgive yourself and go and do it. Go and learn about that thing and don't feel like it's a problem.
I love how followers are just, they're shipping you, Chris. Our people are inspiration. I can't tell you the amount of time, sorry, this is going to be a bit personal, that I've called Chris if I've like had a problem or I've been upset over the years, and yeah, Chris is brilliant. You're wonderful. You're wonderful.
It's as if I should have been like a psychologist or something.
Almost.
I went to university for that.
Oh, fuck that. You're here telling jokes and reading magical cards.
That's where we're at.
Thank you. It's so lovely of you.
Fabulous. Emma would like a card for the week. It could be a fun one. Ooh.
Oh, it could be a fun one. Okay, let's see if it's going to be a fun one. That makes me it's going to be a fun one. All right, let's see how we go.
What was the wink? I bet there's never been a tarot reader ever that's ever been like, let's hope it's a wink. Oh,
that's what makes this show different, Chris.
Emma's either getting laid or doing cocaine. I'll predict that.
Well, I mean, it actually is a great card. So this is Carly's signifier card. So this, again, is another court card. This is the Queen of Wands. And this always makes me think of Carly anyway, because, again, as you can see, it's usually like the social butterfly card, the person that's just got a massively great, wonderful personality and is just exuberant and has joyous. And it's just that kind of person that you always want to be around because they have such great energy. So I feel like this week, for you, this is basically either saying you should take on this aspect, or this is actually how you are as a person, that you're really going to be getting out there this week. You're going to be having a great time, having a fun time. Everyone wants to have you around. Everyone really wants to feel your energy. And I feel like this is just such a fun, exciting way of spending your week. And everyone is really going to enjoy that. So lucky them that they get
Everyone wants to invite you to parties because you're so much fun.
So much fun. That's the rule.
That made me laugh because you were like, the Knight of Wands is the Knight of Dicks. And then you were like, this is the Queen of Wands and Carly is one of them. It's like the Queen of Dicks.
She's the Queen of Dick.
It's just like Game of Thrones, but the throne is dildos. That's what it is.
That's what's on her other wall. She hasn't shown us the other wall because that's just a wall of dick.
It's like the Game of Thrones throne, but instead of all those sort of swords,
it's just dildos.
Penises, just dildos everywhere.
It's just huge schlongs. Yeah, the Game of Schlongs. Gang
of Thrones, I like to call it.
Gang of Thrones.
Do you want any more cards? Sorry, Chris, we're overrunning slightly. We'll wrap it up.
No.
We'll try and skip the end.
You know your schedule. Jim, any more cards? Jim?
Me, please.
Not
fussy who? Oh,
we'll do it then, Claire. Why not? She's not fussy who.
She's not fussy.
She's not a fussy lady. All right, so I'd like to put the deck for the
fussy lady.
Oh, Claire. Okay, we're going to get deep here, Claire. I'm so sorry. You pulled the devil card. Now, don't worry. This doesn't mean there's a devil. It means that there's a little devil inside of you who might be fucking some things up for you, and you might need to address some of that. So the devil is a card that sometimes can be associated with having amazing sex. But for me, more often than not, this is the card that sort of represents that little devil inside of me that is holding me back and chaining me to various things, generally things that are too excessive or addictive. So the devil will come up if you're drinking too much. The devil will come up if you have an unhealthy relationship with food. The devil will come up if you are constantly swiping on online dating apps. These things that you feel a compulsion to do that are hurting you. So it could be anything. It could be anything, Claire. And most of us have one of those. The advice this week is that actually the devil, whilst he looks big and imposing and sitting on this throne, you can see he's got two little subjects, little naked people down there that he's controlling by making them sort of feel compelled to do certain things. And you can see around their necks, they're chained. And the thing is, the devil's got these people in chains, but he's not got them in like fucking really tight chains. They're like loosely around their neck. The people are there, they're still with the devil because they either still want to be there or they haven't noticed that what they can do is find their inner power, release themselves from these chains and walk away from this. This can literally be anything, by the way. It could be talking to yourself badly. Sometimes I get that if I'm doing a little bit of an Eight of Swords that we saw earlier, and I feel this, but it's not just that I'm talking to myself badly. It's like a compulsion to be like, oh, you're not good enough. You can't do this. It can be literally anything. It could be addiction problems. It could be negative self-talk. And if you have any issues with any of those things, this card is reminding you that you're powerful. You're more powerful than that devil inside of you, and you can walk away from this. Anyone want to add anything to this?
No, that's all good.
I've got a real world example of that. So they train elephants for shows in India by tying them with a rope to a chair when they're babies, so that when they're an adult, even though they're these giant elephants, they're tied with a rope to a chair, and they could just walk away at any time. But they've got this thing where they've just learned it from birth that they're never going to be able to escape.
Wow.
But they could escape at any moment they
This
choose.
is exactly it with this card.
They
Exactly
don't.
it.
So
That's a great.
you have to be the elephant. You are huge and powerful, and you have grown from the point at which you got whatever that rope is, whatever that chair is. You are not that person. Even if it's only a day, you're not that person you were then. Remember that there's only ever a rope and a chair holding you back from everything. It's nothing is ever insurmountable. I've been through so much in my life, and I always thought it was going to be impossible, and it never is. It's never impossible. It's never impossible. It's just a case of doing it, failing, trying again, doing it, failing, trying again. Because in the end, you can fail an infinite amount of times, and you only have to get up one more time than you failed. That's it. You only have to succeed once. You can fail infinite times.
I love that, Chris. She just remember how big and strong she is, and she doesn't need to be held back.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
You are not the person you were when you first put on that rope.
Absolutely.
You are bigger and stronger and braver.
Love that. Sarah's losing it up there in the corner.
I'm losing my mind at this fantastic advice.
I think you might need
I'm going to watch this. I'm going to watch Chris's live when I'm feeling shit about myself. You
should honestly watch some of Chris's streams, because he does talk about things like this in more depth. If you're liking this, you should watch some of his streams.
We do a lot of mental health stuff on our streams, so because I've been through a lot. Like as I said, I've been through a lot of it, and I trained as a psychologist when I was at university, and then I've been through the system a bunch of times for 2 decades. So I've obviously picked up a lot, and I've had to work on my own stuff, and we had all our stuff at home. And in the end, you just have to you can either let the world crash over you like a wave, or you can surf it, man. And that's what you have to do. And that's what you have to do.
I'd like to.
The best thing I ever heard was Bruce Lee's "Be Water, My Friend," which was running water. It never stops moving. I'm paraphrasing. It never stops moving. It never grows stale, and it can choose how it moves. It can either flow around things or it can crash onto something, and you get to choose your reaction to stuff in the world. And that point was my learning point, where I was like, yeah, I can just choose. I can go around rocks. I can smash down dams. I don't have to be like this stagnant pool of mosquito-ridden filth. And it was that was and it's just such a. I know that this sounds a little bit wanky, but it is absolutely. Sometimes you just need that one thing in your head that clicks, and then you're like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Not wanky at all. Absolutely so relevant. Jim, do we have any more cards left, my darling? Here we go. Yes, you may have a card. Who drew the last one? It was me, wasn't it? Go on, Sarah. Yes. You go, girl.
Go. Oh, Chris is destroying the place. It's almost Albert. It was Albert. Albert's destroying the place.
What?
Hang on. 12 more left. Sorry.
Oh God, two.
Sorry.
2 more left.
12.
Sorry. 12 more cards. I was like,
Jim, we don't have time. You're just going to have to say no. So basically, right. So sorry, Queen Cat 58. So this is another major arcana card. So this is either a message from the universe or a life lesson that you need to take on board. So this is the Justice card. Now this is about cause and effect. And it's basically, I like to see it as in like you're in a courtroom and they're coming with the verdict, and basically you are going to get the verdict that you deserve. So if you have lived like, you know, you've had like a load of bad karma recently and things have been really shit, it's now gonna change. And now that you're gonna sort of the reap rewards of all the things that you do. So if you've been really truthful, you've been really kind, and you've been investing in all your relationships and feeling like you're not really getting anything back, now is the time that you are going to start getting that back. Justice is coming, and this is about truth and it's about fairness, and it's coming to you this week. So this is something that will be happening for you. So it's a very strong card and something that is actually very positive, I think.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this card, like I like to have sort of little sort of Cliff Notes version in my head. For me, this card says that actions have consequences,
yes.
And what your actions do, you cause your own consequences. Justice always comes. So you need to make sure that your actions are kind and loving, because the more kindness and love that you spread around, the consequences of that come back to you. And so that would just be my advice for this week. But then that's my advice all the time, and Sarah's probably had enough of hearing it.
Put love out there, but
not everyone deserves love. There are some real fucking arseholes out there, and they don't deserve love.
That is true. That is true. See, with me, I with that, like I remember people saying like you're only successful in life if you're lucky. And my old boss used to hate that, and he would say to me, "It's amazing how lucky you are when you work hard." And that was what I loved, is you give yourself the amount of opportunities you want. So you just keep putting stuff out there, and it will come back eventually. And the other bit that goes with that I temper it with, is the universe isn't fair. You need to not expect the same amount of karma back as you put out. You have to put out so much more to get a little bit back. So never feel like, oh, I did one thing, so I should get one thing back. You should just know that at some point something is coming back. That's what I always temper the positivity with, is that you should know that it's not going to be, maybe you don't get like a lottery win, but you might get 20 quid on the floor, or you might get like the job you wanted, or something like that. It's just a little thing.
Absolutely, I agree. Any more, Jim? I'm getting confused. Is this our last one, or have we got two more?
I think that was our last one.
Was that our last one? Diane, we always have time for you, Di. Don't you worry, I'll pull this card for you, you beautiful motherfucker. Right, here we go. Diane, we've got the Page of Cups.
Page of Cups.
Okay, so Di, this could be a person, but knowing what I know about you, I'm just going to throw it out there. The Page of Cups can come. Cups aren't always necessarily just sort of interpersonal relationships or the feelings of love. Sometimes they can be to do with creativity, because they're anything that you need to have an open heart for. So, like if you're sort of writing something, the Page of Cups will come along. This guy is of the whole royal family of the Cups. He's the one who's the most curious. It's telling you to sort of enter into a creative project with like a sort of a curiosity, to always be sort of asking questions and searching for new things. And more importantly, as you can see, there's no water in this guy's cup. As you mentioned, some of these cups have other things in them. This guy's got a fish just sticking his little head out the cup. So what he's saying is don't necessarily expect sort of things to crop up in any creative projects as they usually do. Expect things to be different. Expect surprises. And when you get a surprise, embrace that surprise and make it part of what it is that you're doing, because that will actually help you in the long run. Anyone want to add anything about the Page of Cups?
Nope.
I recently listened to a talk by Simon Sinek, and he is a speaker. He's like a thought leader guy, and he mostly helps businesses get back. But there was one thing that he said, and it was that he doesn't plan for stuff. He doesn't have like schedules. He has a problem with it all. It really struggles with it. He struggles with diaries and stuff. And he says create opportunities from surprises. So there were people that saw the pandemic and went, "Oh God, my world's falling apart," and there were other people that went, "Right, that happened. What can I do with that?" rather than that. And that's how I was one of those people that was like, "Oh my God, my world's falling apart." And then, because that was a career, right? I was a stand-up comic, it was illegal suddenly. And then I listened to his chat, and it was like, "Oh, you're right. I need to find," and that's how I started doing online stuff, was because I was like, I need to just, what can I do right now with what I have? And I think that's an important message that always, that comes with those things.
I agree. I want to get Chris on a full moon and just do advice with Chris.
It's just other people's advice.
You'll do that.
I've got like a filter.
I think this is our last one. Sarah, do you want to pull a card for Gail?
Yeah, sure. Yep, absolutely. No worries, Gail. Let's see what we've got. Carly's card. We got Temperance. So this is Carly mentioned at the beginning of the show. She gets this constantly, and she got this yesterday when I pulled it for her. So again, this is a major arcana card. So this is a message from the universe to you. What I like about this card is obviously you can see the water is flowing between the two cups, basically representing trying to keep a balance. But what you can also see in this card is that you've got the woman who has 1 foot in the river, in the flowing river, and 1 foot on the floor. So it's basically saying that you should be grounded, but you should also be open to going with the flow. So this is a real, everything in moderation, everything in balance. And what I like especially is in here, you've got in the background here of like, you've got this little path getting to where it is that you want to go. And it's not going to take you some time, but if you approach it with the balance and going with the flow and also staying grounded, you will get to where it is that you want to go. It's just going to take some time and patience. So there's a really lovely sort of advice card of just maybe taking a step back, thinking about everything that you've got going on and just trying to find that balance for yourself.
Fabulous. I have nothing more to add to that. Chris, do you have anything you want to add about
I feel like if I do add something, it's a bit weird. But it is about finding balance. It's hard to find balance, isn't it? And you've got to. Yeah, I think all the time people are too hard on themselves, and you have to you are limited. Don't ever. People are like, you're unlimited. You're not You've got limited energy. You've only got the spoon theory, which is that you can only have enough spoons in your cup for the day, and you should always be aware of that. And don't be afraid to say, I can only do this. I can only do that. Don't be afraid to say to people, I've run out of spoons. I just need to. This will be for tomorrow. That's how you find balance, is by knowing your limits.
Absolutely, I agree with that. We've had one more person ask, so we'll quickly do a little quickie one. Sorry, for those of you who have places, including Chris. We have one more very quick one. Sorry, I'm new. Are these free?
They are free.
They're free. I'll tell you what. I'll give you one. 2 seconds. I've just pulled the Temperance card again. So you get the same reading as the last lady. Actually, no, that's me pulling the Temperance card. I'm going to do another one because I always pull that card constantly.
Yeah, I was going to say it's your card. Yeah,
it's my card. It's for me. Because I don't.
Is it just because she's got 2 cups, right? One's whiz.
Okay, here we go. You have got here the 7 of Cups. Now, here we go. This is a card about choices. Life, as Chris even mentioned before, life is about making a series of choices, and maybe you're in a position where you don't know what to do next. What should you pick next? The possibilities are almost infinite. You can see this guy is here with his cups. He's got all his choices laid out in front of him. He's got a cup full of jewels. He's got like a victory wreath. He's got this little guy here, and some of these choices are unknown. As you can see, there's a guy in a cup with like a sheet over his head. We don't know who that is. Sometimes you just have to pick a cup. So you may feel overwhelmed, say, I could do this or I could do that. Sometimes you just need to pick one. Nothing is permanent. You can always go back on any of your choices that you make. If you pick something and you're like, oh, this isn't working for me, it doesn't mean that you have to do that thing forever and ever and ever. It means that you picked something, so you have to pick something new next time. And just make sure that when you do pick, the warning that comes with this card is whatever choices you make sure that you are doing it with your eyes open. There's no kind of like illusion around that choice, that you're doing it realistically and using your not just your heart, but also your head. Anyone want to add anything to that?
I think that when it comes to choices, people get stuck in little boxes and they forget that the world isn't built like that. So like the whole of society is built upon fitting a very specific type of person into their hole, like into their box, and actually there's very few of those very specific type of people, and people are afraid of it, and they're also afraid to admit they were wrong when they do stuff. They're like, oh, I've spent 10 years on this career, I should bloody stick to it. I'll give you a story. My mum was in a career for 32 years. She hated every day of it, and at the end of it she says she wishes she'd stuck to being an opera singer. We wouldn't have had as much money in the house, but she would have been happier. Don't live like that. Learn, you can just give up things. You can be a new person tomorrow, where it doesn't make any difference. No one gives a shit. You've only got one life. You don't, even if you do come back, even if you do believe in all of the religions in the world, this life is what matters. Today is all that matters. Tomorrow doesn't matter. It's not happened yet, and yesterday's already gone. The only time you can affect is today. So you should just do whatever you fucking want. don't ever matter. It doesn't
Absolutely.
ever matter. And
Absolutely
really,
doesn't
this is something it doesn't matter. The world, the universe is infinite. In the big scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. It grinds down to almost nothing. Just enjoy yourself. That's all. That is the meaning of life. It's enjoying yourself.
Yes,
So
I
that's it.
love what a lovely note, a lovely positive note to end on. Before we go, let's quickly find out who won, who's going in the freezer. Do we have a verdict, a result? Yeah, it had to be.
Yes.
It had to be.
Fuck you, Phil. They're fingers. There's 10 fingers, you dickhead.
I know. Phil, I hope you're not watching because I'm about to tell you to fuck off.
Flip a coin, Angela.
Yeah, flip a coin. I can't wait for because the Queen. Yes, Chris can come back whenever he wants. Chris is more than welcome to be here anytime.
Definitely should do a full-moon show.
90 minutes next week. I know they are getting longer and longer, aren't they?
Yeah.
But before we go, don't close your browser yet. Chris has loads of amazing projects. You should definitely check them out. He has online streams and podcasts. Chris, tell people. It will start scrolling down the bottom, but tell people what they can find you doing.
Well, there's a really easy thing to find me. If you just look at beacons.page/Papa Glitch, that's where you can find me, and that's got all of the links. But we do a mental health podcast. That's every mental health bar, which is refilling your mental health bar. That gets released at midnight on a Tuesday, and those are inspirational people that have overcome mental health problems or any kind of problem. We've had people who have been dyslexic, dyspraxic, autistic, people who have had eating disorders, all of these things, and they not overcome. We don't coping with. I don't like the word overcome because you never really overcome them. You always live with those things inside you, and overcoming is this thing that the movie world has given you. But every week that comes out. We've got the sex. We've got the ins and outs of sex that starts this week, and that is me.
I'm so excited for this.
It's me not being very experienced in that whole world, and Katrina, who is a sex coach, not a sexpert, because she's very close to that. But she's a sex coach and is talking through it. Streams every day, every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday in 10 minutes over on Twitch. That's all right. I don't need to move. My travel time is 0. I'm just going to switch. And what else is there? There's some other things as well. But come and find us. You've got my page going across the bottom of the screen at the moment. Go and find me on there and meet me on social media, and we'll talk. We'll have a chat.
Fabulous. That's awesome. Sarah, do you have anything you want to plug?
No. My socials along the bottom if you want to follow me.
Awesome. And I'm going to plug my podcast. It's called The Truth Club. It comes out every Friday, and it's us talking random general shit. And yeah, if you like my random general shit, you'll probably enjoy it. So it's called The Truth Club, and you can get it wherever you get podcasts. You can just follow my stuff down there. Right, Chris, somewhere to be in a very short while. So we're going to say thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris. You were
Thank you for having me.
I'm so grateful that you joined us tonight. And everyone, we'll see you back here next Sunday at 7 o'clock. See you soon. Bye.
See you later. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks for watching Tarot Nice to Meet You, which is produced by Comedy Hotspot. See you next Sunday at 7 p.m.